All right, Cam, you can start that out later. We got a show to do. Let's go, everyone.
Oh yeah, this is Sci-Fi Snob, and this is the Toplofty Lounge. We're in for a smooth show for you today. Oh yeah, baby. In the 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, baby. Yeah, here we go. In 11, 10, 9. Oh yeah, baby. Here we come. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Top Lofty Lounge, episode 74, Conversations for the Elevated. Welcome, all my fellow snobs out there in Snobland. It says that there's, two of you. All right, well, I guess that's better than zero. This week on the show, first let me tell you, I'm your host, Sci-Fi Snob, bringing you those cool vibes tonight. We're going to have a nice chill show. We're going to talk. You're going to enjoy it. This week on the program, we're talking about the most underrated sci-fi movies out there in movie land. And Cam's going to give you his picks. I'm going to give you my picks. And then I'll tell Cam why he's wrong. Yeah, it'll be good. We'll enjoy it. But before we get into that, the first thing I have to do is I have to introduce my co-host. He is the not sure to my President Dwayne Elzondo Mountain Dew Camacho. It's Cam. Say hello, Cam.
Greetings, sci-fi fans everywhere across the world listening to us right now.
Yes, greetings. So, Cam, let me. Shall we say? You know what? Let's wait to say hello to people in the chat because there's only two of them. PB and Snugs. It looks like. That's it. Oh no, three.
What about Umbris?
Umbris is in there too, and now I'm saying three on my little thing here, so that's good. Yeah, we'll save that for a little bit later. But first, let's tell me, Cam, what did you do to increase your sci-fi Q this week? Anything?
No, can't think of a single thing.
Nothing. All right, let's just enjoy the birds while we're at it.
Oh, look, Death Angel Shadow's here. Welcome. DS, are you looking for another show to do? Because there might be an opening on this one.
Why? What are we talking about?
Oh, nothing.
Tell us
hey, I noticed there's 639 subscribers.
639. That's correct. Yes, we are creeping up one at a time. Yeah, creeping up. And hey, like and subscribe to the show. If you can, if you're there, you can just click that little like button. It helps us out with the algorithm. We appreciate it. The birds appreciate it, so they can get their keep me in bird seat so I can feed the birds so they don't freeze to death. Look how cute they are. I mean, nobody wants that. So nothing. You did nothing.
Well, I did put together a Soundwave Blokey model.
What? I don't know what that is. What is that?
Well, Blokey, I guess, is the brand. It's like they're model kits. When I don't know if you remember when you were a little kid, they had like the snap together model kits, that basically requires no glue. They're similar to that, but more detailed, and they're pretty amazing actually in the way that they fit together. Um, it's pretty high tolerance, fittings, to make all that stuff work. And
Mm-hmm.
it for the most part, it holds together pretty well. I actually had a little bit of trouble with this, with the Soundwave. I've got a few other ones. Well, actually, I have quite a few other ones. Some of them are pretty small. This one's, I don't know, about 8 inches tall, I guess.
So this is Soundwave, the
classic Soundwave
Transformers
Yep.
character, right?
Yeah, and he comes with 4 of his little tape buddies, which, one of the reasons why Soundwave is superior to all other Decepticons.
If you like evil.
I did say Decepticons.
Right. Yeah. All right. What did I do today? Oh, I watched. My daughter and I are continuing our work through the Marvel universe, and we saw Ant-Man, and she really liked that one. Yeah, so it's one of her favorites, she says.
I thought it was actually, I like. Wait a minute, did I see this? Yeah, I like them. I saw the first two, and I liked them,
Yeah.
but I think the first one was actually. I would agree. It is one of the better.
It's pretty good. The third Ant-Man is horrible.
Okay, I didn't see that one.
It is really, really bad. I saw it in theaters, and I regret. I prefer not to tell anyone. It's embarrassing. But me and my buddy saw it, and we were like, "Hey, it was a night out for us." It was really bad. What the hell is going on in the movie? It's just a big mess. Even the birds don't like it when I mentioned they run away. Yeah. I also I finished. I'm working my way through Ian M. Banks's books. So I read his first book, which was pretty good. I think I mentioned it last week. I finished off. I read the second book, The Player of Games, and I actually enjoyed that one a little bit more. It's a little tighter, a little shorter, more focused. It's a good novel. I recommend it to anybody. As I said in my on X there, if you follow me on X, I mentioned it a couple days ago or something, and I would recommend it. And Banks has so there's 2 sets of books. There's 2 authors, Ian M. Banks and Ian Banks. So apparently it's the same guy. Ian M. Banks is his sci-fi stuff, and he uses Ian Banks for something else, some other type of fiction that I didn't care about because it wasn't science fiction, so I didn't bother to look into it. But he passed away in 2009, so I'm talking like he's still alive, but he's not writing any more books. But I enjoyed The Player of Games. I'm looking forward to grabbing the next one and reading it. I think it's pretty good. So if you need a new author, you want to check him out. Check him out. The stories he writes are in this universe, in the sea where the main system, it's quite far in the future, and it's the thing is run by this human-centric empire called the Culture, and they're quite it's a post-scarcity society, so it's a very hedonistic, no one has to work, do what you want type of society, but very lawful and everything. Cam would hate it, but it's kind of interesting to see them reflect that on other cultures that are, when they clash with them, are not the same, or to look at the characters and how they think versus a culture that is not in that sort of post-scarcity society. And The Player Games is about that very much. So it's there's a guy who is a game player. He's very good at strategic games. He's like one of the 10 best within the culture, and he goes to some this very much smaller empire who they play a game which they play it from almost from birth, and it's the the cement of their society. People play this game, and the winner of the game is becomes the emperor, and the second, third place take important positions in the government, like minister of defense and prime minister and all that stuff. So it's kind of interesting. So I thought, as a guy who liked board games, I thought it was kind of interesting to have a society sort of built around a board game. Sort of. It's a very super complicated game, and it's interesting. I liked it. All right.
I have continued to delve into the Blade Runner role playing game, and
Oh, so you did do something.
yeah,
right.
and I also I don't know if I
Only
mentioned
some
last week.
truth.
Did I mention last week that I ordered the Alien?
I think you did,
Okay,
but you
so
didn't get it yet, though.
no, it hasn't come in yet.
So have you played any of this Alien?
No, I've
Sorry,
never.
the you've just read it.
Yeah, I'm not even done reading it yet, but
Not even done.
yeah, I've got a, I'm an idiot, so I get in. It's like when I start into something, then I drive headlong into it, and so I've bought like 5 or 6 role playing games that will probably never make it to the table. If you follow on Jason's on Sci-Fi for Me Discord, I talk about my adventures in game mastering there, which are not pretty.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyway,
we appreciate Snugs unsubbed and subbed to help get some. Every little bit helps. We appreciate that. That's awesome.
that's the thing about Snugs is he cares.
He
He doesn't
cares.
do just one thing. He does it
Tries to help us out.
again and again.
All right. We're up to, it says 7 people, 1 on Rumble. All right. Excellent. Welcome.
Well, we picked
to the
another great
Rumble
topic, clearly.
Yeah. Welcome to the Rumbleites. Let's say hello to everyone in the chat. We've got Umbrus is in the chat. PB's in the chat. Who else? Let me just scroll down here. Of course, Snugs is in the chat. We've already mentioned him. And Death Angel Shadows come by. Yes, we see you. There he is. And who am I missing? Let's scroll down a little bit. That's it. That's all I see. Everyone else must be lurking. That's perfectly fine.
It's lurking offline somewhere.
You can lurk. It's your choice. You don't have to come in the chat. Yeah. All right. Okay. Do we? I think we've covered everything that we need to cover. Cam. We have any administrative points? I don't think so.
We were gonna talk briefly. Have a brief tool segment.
Oh, a brief tool segment. All right. Well, let's. I'm gonna get rid of the birds. And I hope you enjoyed that. The birds, nice and calm. Everyone's relaxed now. We don't have any. Cam doesn't have anything extras for the show. He didn't give me anything, but you just have a bit of a note, right?
Yes. Right. I have bought a few tools this week, but nothing exciting. But the Black Friday sales have already started apparently. So if you're things like Home Depot or Lowe's, they've already started to bring out their Christmas tool specials. A lot of times they have these. They have areas like the holiday areas and things like that where they've got special displays for all these things, and they're already out. The Lowe's one didn't really thrill me. There's some things, some Klein, and then their house brand Cobalt, some not bad deals on things. But if you happen to be looking for any Milwaukee stuff, Home Depot has a pretty good selection of stuff with some pretty good deals. Drill drivers, impact drivers, batteries, all kinds of things like that, from pretty wild prices. There's a screwdriver with battery and charger and everything. Really a drill driver, I guess, so you could at least use it for light drilling, for like $59, which is a screaming deal. I have one. It's very nice. It's 1/4-inch hex drive, so you could do all kinds of any of your driving needs. Oh, Snugs wants to know how many Leathermans I have. Probably around a dozen to 15.
Oh my.
Yeah, I haven't counted them lately. I have a lot more Swiss Army knives actually, but anyway. So I just wanted to give everybody a heads up that that those things are already out there, and sometimes like last year they had these Craftsman V series stuff like sold out super fast, which that was kind of like their high end line, and I guess they were dumping it, so they basically blew everything out, and they had some really excellent deals. I haven't seen anything like that, so that's necessarily going to fly off the shelves, but just to let everybody know, if you want to stop by, you could find some early bird deals.
All right, awesome. And yeah, we still have, hey, if you're the person on Rumble, shout out. I'm trying to get that sorted out a little bit better. Shout out and tell us, hey, I'm the Rumble guy. Since we got one guy on Rumble, I got to spend some time and focus on that and make it better on there.
Snugs likes the juice, the Leatherman juice. Okay, so here's the thing. Maybe I have more
juice.
Yeah, there was a whole line of called the juice line. They discontinued it maybe 2-3 years ago. And they were kind of like a mid-sized model. Maybe I could pull some out and take some photos. But as they were canceling it, I did they had some blowout sales, so I did pick up a good number. So I got some sitting in the box still. Maybe I could sell those for a hefty profit to people like Snugs,
or give them away free on the channel.
Well, that would be against my policy.
Oh, damn policy. Listen, maybe the chat can help me out. I've been bugging Cam for a while to pull out his Swiss Army knives, take some pictures of them, and put them up here for a little show and tell type of thing. But he hasn't done it. Maybe the chat can pressure him a little bit to do so. Maybe I can get your help to do that. That would be very helpful.
Sure. You don't even have to pressure me. I can do that.
All right. Well, that was pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. Okay. Awesome. Is that it for tools? We're good?
Yep. Just quick heads up.
All right. We'll have more in the future. Oh, okay. And Michael's come in the chat, and Tennessee Tabletop Tavern has jumped in the chat, which I suspect that is Jeff on another account.
Yeah.
Pushing up the numbers.
He's got to goose the numbers. They're pretty bad tonight. So
that's right. Yes, Jeff, we are on Rumble. It does say there's one person watching on Rumble. Those are the two places we're sending out to. Can't find it. It should be Sci-Fi Snob, the channel. Just name that. Just search for that. But yeah, I do have to. Oh, and then we lost the Rumble guy. Gone.
Okay.
All right.
Our numbers are jumping all over the place. Okay, forget it. Let's just forge ahead and pretend like we've got a huge audience when, in fact, we just have an important audience.
That's right. It's fine. We prefer a more select audience anyway. All right. Let me. Shall we get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
What else do we don't have nothing else. All right, let's go right into it. So what we're going to do today, everybody, is we're going to look at the most underrated sci-fi movies out there, and we're each going to Cam and I. We're going to take turns, mostly, and we'll talk about the movie and tell you why we like it, say why it's underrated, and you can come in on the chat. Should we put the chat up on the chat's got some?
Why not? I wouldn't say they're the most underrated. I just say they're
They are underrated. They are underrated. Yeah.
Ooh, Snugs.
Right.
I'll take the $5, buddy. But
I'm going to put this up. I'm going to keep it up like this because bigger picture. Yeah. It's a sugar high from candy. Everyone else is out. Yeah, they're all sleeping it off. Too much candy. Could be. Could be. Yeah. All right. I'm going to leave it like that for now. I'll keep the chat up and we'll see how it goes. All right. So the movie Dread. Have you seen this one, Cam? This is my pick. This is my pick.
I watched it. We mentioned it in another show or several other shows, and I watched it.
I really like
it. I don't know,
so
maybe a couple months ago, and yeah, I was blown away by it. I absolutely loved it.
It's a great movie. Carl Urban is awesome in it. He never takes the helmet off, unlike Weatherman, welcome. Hey, good to see you. He never takes the helmet off, unlike Stallone, who's got to have his pretty face seen. And it's a very basic Dread movie. Like it's maybe it's not you save the world. It's not he goes to a
it's basically one case.
Yeah, it's one case. It's a day in the life almost.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is some he goes to this one. What do they call him? Well, it's called Peachtrees. It's a giant. It's basically like a
tenement building.
A tenement building, but it's like an acropolis, right? Like it's an arcology, I guess is what they call them. Giant, where you can live in. Giant buildings where everyone can live in and you never have to leave, sort of thing. Everything's there. It's kind
sounds
of
like a prison.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's just But anyway, yeah, 200 floors, something like that. Anyway, it's been taken over by this drug dealer mama, and she is running all of the slow-mo, which is a drug that slows you down in the whole city. And so Dredd goes there for and finds out, hey, that this is going on, and they shut down the building and keep him stuck in there. And he's got a rookie with him, and she is a mutant who apparently can read thoughts. So and he's a little skeptical. And then they go through the whole movie. It's pretty good. There's some there's a couple of 4 judges that show up that are traitors. It's a great movie. Good adaptation of the Judge Dredd comic book, Day in the Life story. Yeah, it's a great film. My understanding is that the and maybe Cam, you know this, the comic books are a little more satirical, and this was a little more straight, from what it sounds like to me. But I'm not sure. I've never really read the comic books.
I think you're right about that. I am not at all an expert on the comics either. It's our British friends enjoy.
Yeah, that's true. It's a British comic book.
Talking that style of thing where they complain a lot about, in quotes, fascism.
And how Americans like guns too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is, and it's a British.
And I say we don't like them enough.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, I love this version, whether or not the comic book version is. This is a great, it's a straight shooting version of a future which is so post-apocalyptic, but also dystopian, that you have to have a judge who just decides on judge, jury, and execution right off the bat, because there's just so many people and so much crime.
Yeah, it does a nice job of portraying the world, kind of setting the stage for you very briefly but effectively. I didn't walk again. I'm not at all an expert on Judge Dredd, and I felt like, yeah, okay, I know what this is about. I know where it's going. It was beginning, middle, and end. It was everything a movie should be.
All right, so I guess Michael's the expert. He's read the first 1,800 or so issues of Judge Dredd. That's all, only 1,800. Oh my goodness, you barely know anything. Judge Dredd's are satirical of American gun and Western culture. It's British satire, not comedy, which is different. Yes, it's British, and it is satire. But I mean, good science fiction is some satirical, and makes us sort of look at what we're doing now, and how it might turn out in the future. I appreciate that. Yeah. So the reason, what did you like about this movie, Cam?
Well, I have a real pet peeve with people that don't understand basic storytelling. Again, going to the Jim Shooter school, where stories need to have a beginning, middle, and end, and not exclusively Jim Shooter, but these simple ideas that people seem to forget. And it was just so refreshing to see it done so well. Like I said, they set the stage where you understood it, and again, yeah, it's a brutal world that they're in. But it all makes sense to, if I'm sitting here, I'm saying, okay, well, this is this guy's motivation. This is what he's doing. It all works. So, even though it's sci-fi and, not realistic, it is credible in the story they're telling. So I just those basics do it for me today. Maybe I have a low standard because, stories are so poorly told anymore.
Well, it's 2012, so it's back before things got really bad in storytelling in the last 10 years or so.
Yeah, that's true.
Time flies. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Great, great basic, down to earth, good storytelling. The world is believable. Carl Urban is awesome. Olivia Thirlby is the rookie. she does a great job too, and she's hot. Leanna Headley as Mama. I never would have thought she would be. I mean, she played the evil chick on Game of Thrones forever, so she can be evil. But they cut up her face a little bit. She does an excellent job as well. I mean, it's just good casting. There's been rumors about. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say she's a psycho, absolute psycho in this movie too, and does a really good job.
Yeah, Urban is just Herman's in. Yeah, the thing about I think that's I don't know if you're quoting Stallone there. I am the law, but Urban doesn't play it that way. He plays it very, very much understated. And it's more forceful because he doesn't yell. He's just like, do this or it'll be executed, or I'm giving you a chance. 10 years ice cube, or right. And it's just
no nonsense. He just
nonsense, just straight to the point. I love that.
Hey, PB, Snob has reserves the right to mispronounce things.
Yeah, that's right. Mispronounce everything. Like your science fiction engineer. That's right. We talk about the science fiction engineer all the time. So great movie. There's been rumors floating around about another movie. I don't know why they haven't done another movie, apparently because it didn't do as well as they had hoped, supposedly, but
hence it being underrated.
It says the budget was between 30 and 45 million and the box office was 41 million. But it should have done way better than that. There's been talk about a TV show or something. Carl Urban has said, hey, I'll do it. So Urban plays exactly like in the comics? Awesome. Good. Well, then I'm going to want to watch the comics then.
I like in the movie how he had a reputation too. It's like, the other people knew about him,
Oh yeah. They already knew Judge Dredd. Yeah. So there's some talk about maybe a TV show. But I haven't heard anything about that. I think I'm talking about the streaming series. Yeah. TV show would be streaming. It was on one of the major, I don't know if it was Apple. I think it was Apple, but I don't remember. Don't quote me on that. That's
they could do it in the exact same style as the movie, and it's like, it's just another day in doing their thing, and I'm sure they could tie bigger storylines together and things, but it was just,
it wouldn't have to be a end of the world sort of. You remember this? If you remember the Stallone movie. There were some aspects in this one. It was kind of big thing, but the Stallone movie there's a giant conspiracy between the judges at headquarters and all this, big stuff. It could just be, Judge Dredd doing his thing every day.
Yeah, I'm not an expert at all on the comics, but if you've ever, I don't know if it is very, before our time even, but Dragnet. Radio show and TV series. The premise of it is that it was extremely mundane. It included all these mundane details of police work and talking about, we're going to get something to eat, we're going to get a cup of coffee and a sandwich for, whatever. And just like narrating these things and just playing it just straight out and day to day. And that sort of, that the movie is kind of like that in that respect. And I think that formula works great, for a regular TV series.
I mean, the movie was a little bit over because they have, he's running a rookie. She's a mutant.
Yeah.
They're taking down the biggest drug dealer in Mega City 1. So supposedly, or, she runs all the slow-mo. But, I mean, it's still, that's good. So PB, thanks. You checked it out. Supposedly Amazon Prime. No details. And I've been hearing this for a little while. So
Amazon Prime was such a great record.
Yeah, who knows what's going on. So Weatherman says Netflix had the rights. Someone else brought the rights from them for the streaming service. TV bought it. Or
here's the thing.
Amazon bought it. Yeah.
It drives you crazy with when they're adapting comic things, it's like you literally have hundreds upon hundreds of stories in most cases to
Yeah.
just take and write it in the screenplay form and film it. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to change it. Just do what works.
Yeah, I don't know why they're always. I mean, we said the same thing. I'm going off topic, but said the same thing with Star Wars. You had all this, legend stuff,
Yeah.
extended universe stuff. Why don't you just steal from them? And I always they're like, oh no, we want to write our own stuff. Look, just pay those writers. The writers are all cheap. You give them any money, and they'll be like, oh my god, I got this money for free. You just pay them off. You give them 10, 20 grand, whatever. I mean, 30 grand. It's nothing. And they'll be happy to get it, and then you just take their story.
Nothing to these budgets, I mean,
yeah, give them the money and adopt. You probably buy them off for 100 grand. They'll be happy to take it. Buy off their story, adapt it a little bit. I mean, who cares? Oh, we had to pay the writer. So what? I mean, you got a good story.
Now they pay writers rooms to destroy stories.
Yeah. Well, also these new directors, all these directors are all like, well, they all think that they're writers too, Like Ryan Johnson thinks he's a writer and that I can do it better than them. No, you can't. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. We beat that one to death, Cam. I think I'd love to see, I would consider, getting a streaming service that, that had Dread on it, just to see it. Assuming it's good, because we've seen, the destroyed Lord of the Rings and all kinds of stuff. So hopefully that, but yeah. All right. Should we move on? All right, let's do this. One's Cam's. Cam, Dark City. What's it about? I think we've talked on the show about it already.
Yeah, we have mentioned it. It's it's weird. It's very surreal. It's basically you got a character who wakes up, kind of not knowing where he is and everything. Long story short, he uncovers, with the help of a doctor, this conspiracy that they basically live in this enclosed world where they're basically all the people are being reprogrammed on a daily basis in some cases, and they just kind of keep going on in these circles, and
they're like lab rats, right? Like these guys here in the picture here, these bald guys are watching them.
Right. And they're, so it basically, it gets weird, to be honest with you. It's this is something that probably would have made a good TV series to do in, excuse me, in longer form. But long story short, these are aliens, and the city where they're at is in space. And it involves all these mental powers and crazy stuff. But the reason it as a movie, I'm not sure it has a lot of anywhere to go. If it was a TV show that could have explored this more, but you basically kind of close the thing off, within the movie. But the reason that it's cool, is it's this is before The Matrix, right? So it had this,
right just before.
Yeah, it had this aesthetic that I'm not saying the Matrix copied it, but it had that same sort of surreal, weird alien sci-fi feel to it. And it was, there was a mystery and everything involved in it too. And it's a lot of unexplained stuff, really. If you were to dig into it, it's like, does that really make sense? But, they have all these mental powers and everything. The protagonist gets some mental powers, fights, the aliens, and it's this whole thing. So it's one of those kind of sci-fis that is inspirational and kind of, in my opinion, broke new ground in a lot of ways, or at least I'm sure there's other novels and things that Philip K. Dick and did a lot of crazy stuff. Okay, I'll get to that. Sorry, I was just reading PB's comment. I'll get to that in a second. It went, to all these. What I'm saying is, it's kind of a good exercise in what you could do with sci-fi. It's exploring this territory that wasn't too common at the time. PB says, okay, he says, disagree. It's not weird. It's very cerebral, not trope at all. But yeah, I don't disagree with that. Very well written, cast, and executed well. Yeah, it is. But it is strange though. It's surreal. It's gives you kind of this sense of otherness. It doesn't, throughout the whole thing, it's like there's something wrong here. Obviously, we're seeing all this. So that's what I mean when I say weird, not that it's like weird, stupid, or just bizarre for its own sake. It's kind of a wild story though. It's really pushing the boundaries in a lot of ways. So, but again, it wouldn't be on here if I didn't think it was worth watching. And it's just like I said, it was unlike other things that we saw, and it didn't really land. I remember seeing it in the theater and I liked it, but I think maybe the reason it didn't is because it's like, well, where do you go with it at that point?
And it's just so strange, right? And not
I think it is strange. I guess PB doesn't think it's very strange, but it's not coming down from the masses. Yeah,
I hadn't seen it before, and I only watched it recently, a couple of months ago, because we were talking about sci-fi shows that we haven't seen that we should, and this was a classic that's on there. Like we've said, I think it's it's something that every science fiction fan should see. It is kind of strange, but I do agree with all of PB's comments. It is a drama, horror, murder all in one. Very much a cult classic. Good story. It is well written, well executed. I found it a little. I mean, as the problem with at the end, you're like, okay. I mean, the main character gets sort of is able to get the powers and sort of break out, but then he's on what appears to be a floating city in space, which I assume is a spaceship, but just built that way. And he sort of looks out, and we don't really know where anything has gone. Like where are things going? He's escaped the this thing that he's been in, but what happens now?
I agree. It leaves you kind of going, well, I don't know, what how does that end? And maybe it's not one of those movies that's meant to, it's made to leave you thinking a little bit. But again, I'm not the sci-fi snob you are, but I think it's, well, again, 1998. I don't remember other things like this existing in pop culture.
No, it was
in 1998.
Very unique.
Yeah. But again, I think if you go back, like I said, Philip K. Dick and, that kind of sci-fi of, the 60s, the maybe psychedelic era a little bit, it would probably draw from a lot of that. Although in it has a lot of noir, it has a noir look to it in a lot of ways.
And it's got a 30s look, as Michael mentioned, I think. Like it looks like the late, the 30s.
Right.
I think it is strange. It's not a trope though, definitely. Like it avoids these tropes. It's something more, interesting than that. And of course, yes, Jennifer Connelly. I like her. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very atmospheric movie, where everything you're seeing is contributing to the setting. It's not just, oh, we're here we're on some happy-go-lucky middle America street or something. It's always dark. Hence the name Dark City.
There's no sunlight ever.
Yeah. So again, very interesting. It is one of those movies that when I was younger, it'd be the kind of ones that my friends and I talked about. Oh yeah,
you'd have to argue about. No, that's
right.
Yeah, they have the power to control the machine, but they work together too. Like they use their linked minds somehow. Correct me if I'm wrong. Were they not working together to
the aliens?
One guy in the center. Yeah, the aliens. One guy at the center, and he, but they were all part of it somehow.
Yeah, well, and in the movie, you see them like going around and like,
standing like this in this picture here.
Yeah, but I mean, they're before you see them fully revealed and everything. That's they're walking around the city and they're doing things and manipulating. And I mean, you see the city actually changing, in between things. And again, this has been going on for, how long? Right. Then they keep on resetting this and like I said, doing these experiments and everything. So,
I believe he's they're trying to, Umbra says they're trying to understand the human soul. They are trying to understand something about the humans for sure. I think you're right. It was there. So I don't remember specifically, but and it doesn't have a trope. Yeah. So it's a good, underrated for sure. The budget was $27 million. Supposedly it made $27.2 million in the box office. Ouch. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, the machine. That was I was going to say. They have limited telepathy and telekinesis. The machine just amplifies their powers. That was my thought too. That's how I thought it was going. So just one of those a little bit different, strange as in different science fiction, and they a good, very interesting movie, make you think a little bit, but didn't do well. I'm not sure. I don't think you could. I mean, would you do another one? I think you'd ruin it if you did another one, right?
Yeah, it's that. That's the thing about it is it's hard.
Dark City 2.
How do you? I'm not sure how you recommend this to someone today. So, hey, you should really go see this because what would that because be? What would hook?
Because if you don't, today, you will not be a true science fiction snob.
Well, that is kind
of the only thing I can think.
I mean, that is a valid reason, right? It's like, yeah, you've got to watch these different things if you really want to, get a full perspective on it. And again, it is a standout. I guess this word "strange" is not well accepted by our audience, but that it is unlike the other things at the time.
Yeah. So let me just, it was nominated for a Hugo Award for Best Dramatic Presentation, a bunch of Saturn Awards, 6 of them. Ebert, it didn't do well, but Ebert loved it. He said it was great. He said art direction, set design, cinematography, special effects, imagination, everything was good. And he wrote an audio commentary for the film's release.
Yeah, it's a film lovers kind of movie,
Yeah, I think it's something you appreciate with time, and it has become a cult classic. So it is, it's neo-noir, right? It's kind of like noir, but cyberpunk, not cyberpunk, but neo-noir. Yeah, it's
well, it's hard to categorize, right?
It's not nothing like it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And Jennifer Connelly.
There you go.
Right on. Okay, we're good. Let's move on to the next. Of course, one of my favorite movies, Idiocracy. So just quick storyline, Idiocracy. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it. It's just so we have our average guy named Joe, who's an average Joe in the military, signs up for a 1 year program. They're gonna test out this cryogenic type thing. He's going to go in there for a year and then come out, and they pick him because he is the most average of average people. That's why he's picked. However, through a series of mishaps, including the guy running the project, stealing the money and stuff, Joe gets stuck in there, and society slowly collapses. And it's not till 500 years later that he finally gets his coffin opens, and he comes out. And of course, the world has been totally changed, basically because all the dumbest people in the world are having lots of sex and lots of children and aren't smart enough to use birth control. So, and then the smart people are like, oh no, well, I don't want to have children now because got to make sure that I'm in a proper, got lots of money and all this stuff. So basically, the dumb inherit the earth, and by the time Joe wakes up, he's basically the smartest person on earth because everyone is so stupid, even though he was just average. So the story is about his adventures after that, and it's just there's just so much satire. The scenes with the scenes in court, you know, how he saves the world. I don't know what to say. It's just it's a Mike Judge comedy, just awesome. And it's actually you look at it and you go, hey, wait a second, this is kind of happening. People are getting dumber. You know, what is going on? You know, it's just excellent, excellent film. I love it. It's one of my favorite. You know, and I'll look into our future. Cam, what do you have to say about this movie? Are you there? Cam's gone.
I'm sorry, I was muted. It's a shockingly accurate prediction of our current day.
Yeah, so it's some people say it's a documentary. It's a future documentary. Yeah, I kind of think so. It's very dumb but entertaining movie. I think it's great as a social commentary. Like that's how I looked at it on you know where we're going. And you know maybe we won't be that bad, but hey, I mean, you know, there's aspects you can look around and go, yeah. People getting dumber every 5 years. The crops were dying. Crops were dying because they were watering the crops with an energy drink. That's right. Brondo. Plants crave Brondo.
Because water is what's you know in the toilet.
Yeah, you want to put toilet on the water. It's got what plants crave.
Now, the one thing, honestly,
plants crave electrolytes. What are electrolytes?
Right? Yeah, get a lot of salts in the soil.
It's what plants crave.
Right. You know, the what I don't like is the illusion that, oh yes, people that have children are the dumb ones. You know, it's I understand where they were coming from, and it's not that there isn't some truth to it, but it's like
but they're not saying that people who have children are dumb. What they're saying is that the people who are dumb are having more children because they're not responsible for the children they have. They're having sex with everybody. Everybody's getting pregnant.
I get it.
There's baby mamas running everywhere. I mean, it's just exactly like today.
Yeah, like I'm just saying, in terms of real social commentary, I would encourage people, you know, that have families and, you know, stable lives. Yes, please do have children. It's good for society.
It is, but you have to have the children that you can afford. You can't go around impregnating everybody on your street.
Yeah,
and then having the government pay for them.
In the story, these people are talking themselves out of it. It's like they're up in their own ass so much. It's like, oh well, you know, I'm, you know, how a lot of people are today.
But they were just one representation of, you know, they're trying to show, and you know, the other guy was you know over the top too. The football player who's 18, he impregnates all the cheerleaders. And he's dumb as a post. Yeah, and you know he's got a million baby mamas, and the baby mamas are fighting over him.
Yeah, and clearly it's, you know, over the whole thing is over the top. You know, it's just I'm a little alarmed by that today. It's like, oh, that's not.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say. Yeah, see, Weatherman agrees with me. Very smart, Weatherman. Excellent. I'm not saying that. They're not. I don't think Judge was trying to say that people who have too many children are stupid or anything. It's just that the characters that are having a lot of children are the dumb ones because they don't care about their kids, and they just, you know, they have no discipline or anything. They just go around impregnating everybody, and they don't care. And then they've got all these children. They're wards of the state. Everybody's poor, and you know when they're poor, they're they don't usually get enough for the education. They're all dumb. It's just yeah.
I know the reality of it is very painful to
3 to 5 kids with each woman. Yeah, he was just going around. Football player.
PB, wait a minute. Are you saying that you don't like Superman and Fantastic Four? I was told that Superman was like a return to everything great.
Okay.
How dare you?
All right. You lost me here. Look at Gun Superman and Fantastic Four and tell me you think it's not that bad. People are getting dumber every 5 years, accepting morning fare just because it exists.
You know, PB sounds like a little bit of a snob.
Yeah.
Just our kind of people.
I have to take. I agree that Gun, Superman, and Fantastic Four were not that great. I think I gave them, you know, well, I didn't give. I think I said Superman. I gave it a 6.5 or something. I think that was probably being generous. Fantastic Four. I saw it. I never gave it a number. It was not good. It was worse. People are getting dumb if they think that Gunn Superman was as good as Christopher Reeve's Superman. I would agree with that.
Yeah. It was one of those things. It's, you've been starved for so long that anything seems delicious.
Yeah, but I don't. I try not to go for that. I try to. Yeah. So I mean, are we getting dumber? I mean, in some ways, I think we are for sure.
No
I mean,
doubt.
the thing is, some of us aren't getting dumber. There's some people that are smarter, and they're trying to manipulate the dumb ones or make them dumber. But that's the story for the show.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you haven't seen Idiocracy, you got to see its classic satire. It's a look into the future, what things can become, and of course, it's way over the top, but it's quite funny. And who plays? I forget who plays. Let me just quick look it up. Terry Crews is, of course, President Camacho. It's awesome. Look at this is him in a parade there. He's giving everybody the finger. He's in Congress and he fires a machine gun in the air to make everybody quiet. Shut up! Firing a machine gun in the air to get their attention. Yeah. We got a really smart guy here. He's gonna do some thinking.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's just so over the top. Awesome.
Yep. All right.
Ready? Great movie. Okay, so what do I like about it? Well, I think I've explained everything I like. Why is it underrated? Okay, so you know what? Guess what its budget was, Cam? It's quite low.
25 million.
2.4 million.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
Can you believe that? I mean, it is kind of like
that's crazy for 2006.
Yeah, but they did. I mean, they did some, some of the stuff. I mean, it was kind of, a little bit of background. You could see how it could be shot for less. There wasn't a lot of fancy stuff. But, guess how much the box office was? 495,000.
Really? Oh, my God.
Yeah,
I can't.
Yeah.
Wow.
They lost money big time. I think, though, there's a story with this that the film was it didn't get a major theatrical release. Like it got no. Here it is. Okay, here it is. 20th Century Fox was hesitant to promote the film, refused to grant it a wide release, and did not screen the film for critics. They did not market it.
I saw it in the theater.
Yeah, they thought I didn't see it in the theater, and it's surprising you saw it because nobody knew about it. Like it was kept. That's the reason why I did so poorly.
Well, I was a huge fan
Fox
of Office
didn't want to
Space.
release it. Yeah, that's the thing. Office Space was a great movie, and here, according to Crews, the film's satirical depiction of corporations made the film financially unviable. And while Judge attributed 20th Century Fox decision to negative test screenings, that's why they didn't release it. But it's got a cult following, and I mean, it's a great movie. I like it better than Office Space. Office Space is good, but this one, I prefer this one. But that's because, it fits more with what I like. But yeah, I don't recall it ever being advertised. Yeah, it was something. It was kept. Nobody knew about it. Just like Idiocracy. What's that? Oh, I guess we'll go see it. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Keep talking for 1 minute. I got 15 seconds.
All right. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. You don't forget to like and subscribe, everybody. Hey, click that like button on the thing. It helps us out. We appreciate that. And we are open for super chats if you want to give them. You don't have to, but we appreciate any financial support we get. Yeah.
Okay, back.
So, great movie. All right, Cam's back. Let's go on to the next one. This one is one of yours, Cam. Of course, we screened this movie not so long ago. Colossus: The Forbid Project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, you can go back and watch the episode where we went through this in detail. But long story short, it's what's staring us in the face here with all the AI stuff. I really loved. Basically, in terms of AI controlling nuclear weapons and the fallout, no pun intended, from that. But especially the beginning of the movie, the way that it kind of they play this out and it develops, and people start realizing what's going on, and how there's actually two AI systems in here start interacting, and it just starts spiraling out of control. The way it's portrayed is very suspenseful, and and again, watching it in 2025, first time I ever saw it, it's like, yeah, that's that's pretty accurate. Even though, again, in 1970, their concept of things, they're still, they're typing in commands and all that, and it's playing out on a like a ticker tape, or like a ticker, the responses and all these things. But it's one of the best movies I've seen in a very long time. And it just grabbed me across the board. Good performances. The how the politics come into it, and it's this is, of course, in the days of the Soviet Union and everything. So there's the U.S. and Soviet interactions. I just loved everything about it. It's great sci-fi, great suspense. It ends on a kind of a cliffhanger. There are sequels to it.
We don't get an ending, right?
Yeah. No, it's not War Games.
Well, I disagree. It is kind of like War Games without the stupid kids. But I mean, it's that kind of thing where the
same general theme, but it's not. It doesn't play out the same.
Yeah, it doesn't play the same, and but it is that kind of.
This movie's much darker than War Games.
Yeah, and again, at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, the Colossus informs Forbin that freedom is an illusion, and that in time you will come to regard me not only with respect and awe, but with love. And then Forbin, our main character, responds, "Never." And that's the end of the movie. We don't know what we don't know what happens.
I think there's a good number of philosophical ramifications in this movie that I don't know how someone in 1970 would have received this movie, because again, these things were just wild fantasy at the time, probably, in the realm of sci-fi. Whereas now we're, you can experience how AI behaves. You can actually go and interact with it and see that. And it's like, some of the psychosis that it displays to you, and the weird behavior, it's a little scary, honestly. Incidentally, War Games is a good movie. I wasn't trying to say that War Games isn't a good movie. They're both good movies. I really do enjoy both of them.
Which is
better? I think Colossus is, honestly.
And you know what? I would agree with you, actually. And I had never seen this movie until we decided to watch it for movie night. So yeah, PB, if you want to go back, you could hear our thoughts about it a couple months ago when we had it for a movie night. But yeah, I would. I think this is a better movie. Sorry, go ahead, Cam. You were.
Yeah, I think War Games is more simplistic, and the Whopper.
Oh, happy, everything's going to be okay at the end.
Yeah, this movie has much more malevolence in it, whereas in War Games, the Whopper really isn't. It's not malevolent at all when it comes down to it. It's more like, oh no, something's gone wrong, and again, like I said, it's following the kids and all that, and it's about figuring out how to stop this unintended thing. Whereas this is more like you're fighting a malevolent force.
Yeah, which thinks it's doing what's best for humans, which of course was what every evil person says. Oh yeah, I'm doing what's best for you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like I said, it brings in these philosophical questions like, well, what is good? Well, it's like who's to decide that? Well,
I think Herman's, hits it right on the nose here with Colossus is more of a serious sci-fi movie. War Games is more of a Spielberg style. Yeah,
That's fair.
is. I think that's fair. It's on the head. Now, let me say about this movie. I mean, this is 1970, so I sometimes have trouble with the older movie aesthetic. When not because it doesn't fit or it just everything looks a little cheesy and stuff. Didn't have a problem with this. Sort of like 2001 is 68 or 67. I don't have a trouble watching that again. I can watch it now and go, yeah, that's still, that it doesn't throw me off. This didn't throw me off either. With the 70s,
it's not cheesy. There's
Yeah.
nothing cheesy about it. It's not like no knock on Star Trek, but or any other sci-fi. It tends to. It's like, oh, we got to look futuristic and everything. I'm sure this stuff wasn't. It's conventional kind of tech, for the most part. In terms, you see telephones and things like, and communication systems and computer screens. It wasn't like they were trying to invent something super science, other than of course the AI. So PB, if you like the cerebral stuff, I'd say you would probably like this more.
Yeah, this is way more cerebral and philosophical than War Games.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I like it. I like the fact. I mean, it's 1970s. It's the late 60s. The women are women. They look sexy, but they're not exploited or anything like this shot here. Back when women were allowed to look good and they could still be women, but they could still be important to the story and stuff. Not like today where the male gaze we have to. But I like the movie overall.
Yeah, Michael does mention that there were two sequels, and we talk about that in the episode where we went over it.
But they weren't movies.
Yeah,
I don't believe.
No, I don't think they were.
It's a trilogy of novels. Let me put that up again. Yeah, it was a trilogy of novels.
Yeah, and it's one of those things in it that seemed to occur more in the past where it's like, oh, this was good, so here you got a sequel to it. It's like, yeah, I'll just pull this other kind of random idea out and knit it together with with this. It clearly seems like there was no real plan to have a sequel. So but now if you want to read into that, of course you can. But it just I read the summaries of them and they didn't interest me at all.
So I think we've gone over why we like it.
Yeah,
serious science fiction, a little darker. Why is it underrated? Cam, it's 1970, so you can buy with $1 million, you can buy like half a country and stuff. So, what do you think the budget was for this movie?
Well, I happen to know it's a $2 million.
Was it? Oh, okay, you've been cheating. You've been looking,
right? And it apparently only brought in $300,000. So, not too far from Idiocracy, but 26 years earlier.
Yeah.
So clearly this would have been a much bigger budget for the time. And again, it's hard for me to say how people at that time received it. Maybe it just wasn't, what they're looking for, but I didn't know about this movie until just recently. So someone who's generally interested in sci-fi movies, and again, it's through the 80s and 90s, watching old ones, this never even came across my radar. So from that respect, I have to assume that it's underrated because it's not even mentioned or known. I'm sure some people know about it, of course, but and today I doubt many people know about it at all. But the fact that it does hold up. I guess the only thing I can say is the fact that I like it so much and it does hold up so well in 2025 defines it as underrated. It's unappreciated.
Yeah. It should be more appreciated. It's well put together. It's, there's not, it is a serious movie that is not, you're not like cheesy. It's not, special effect. I mean, it's not much in the way. There's no special effects. I don't believe. I don't remember. But they go on a helicopter. They don't fake anything. It's down to earth. I mean, it's well done.
Uh-huh.
So a little bit. It was released in 1988 on VHS and 1997 on Laserdisc, DVD in 2004, and a remastered high def Blu-ray in 2018. So it is out there, but again, I was like you. We looked at this. No, I didn't know about it before. But yeah, it's a good movie. We try to pick good movies for our movie night. So yeah, check it out. Go watch it.
All right.
Idiocracy made 9 million in video sales. I have a copy of the movie. I think. Do I? I need to get one. If I don't, I think it's good. Worth having. All right. Moving right along. Okay, this one is mine. Chronicle. Cam, have you seen Chronicle?
Yeah.
You have? Oh, I
Yep.
thought you hadn't seen it.
No, I saw it around the time it came out.
Great. So, okay, so the plot of the movie, just real quick, is these three friends. One guy is he's kind of bullied in school, and that is the character of Dane DeHaan, which is like the left guy here in the thing, and he's got the cool guy on the right is his friend, and then of course the black guy. Got to have that diversity in there. But the plot is they go and they find something in the woods. They go down the hole, some glowing crystalline object, and it reacts violently. Blows up or something. And a couple days later, they've all developed telekinetic abilities, and they suffer nosebleeds when they're overextending it. And so the story is about how they sort of practice. They're figuring out their abilities, how to use them. They can fly. You can see them up in the air flying around, and they do a little thing at school where they do a little. The loser kid gets becomes popular when he does a magic show, which they use their telekinetic powers, and it's pretty amazing. People was like, "Oh my god, how do you do that?" This is so it is a kind of a superhero story. So unfortunately, Dane DeHaan, Andrew, the character played by Dane DeHaan, gets a little bit. He's had a tough life. His mother has cancer. His father is abusive and alcoholic. They have medical debt. His father abuses him. He basically goes they're flying, and the black kid they're playing sports up in the sky. He gets hit by a plane. I think he gets sucked into the engine or something, or something happens. He falls to the ground and he dies. That's Michael B. Jordan. Anyway, so they lose their third guy who's kind of keeping things grounded, and then Andrew becomes more and more I guess the power going to his head, and he starts to do stuff, and it's the other character has to stop him, and eventually there's a big fight in the city where they're throwing cars at each other and stuff, and he kills them. And that's the movie. But it's kind of one of these down to earth. What would happen if a bunch of kids got superpowers, and what would what would happen, how they operate, and they have no they don't, the government doesn't capture them. They don't have any adult suggesting what to do. They're just sort of working it out on their own. And at the end of the movie, the one guy left. I mean, he's using his. I think they show him he's up on Mount. On the top of a mountain somewhere. I don't know if it's K2 or somewhere like that. And he's just sort of watching out, he's using his powers, and he's kind of reflecting. But it's a very different, down to earth, sci-fi superhero-esque movie. PB's got some good points. Different take on several themes. Well done. The slow burn approach, yes, is very good. The cinematography is very good. Some of the stuff is them videotaping themselves. So the guy, they're standing there and they're practicing their telekinesis. They're like, what? And it's like, oh, and he sort of like goes up in the air. He's like, oh, he's up in the air, and he's like, oh, I can't. How do I get down? And stuff like that. So it was, it's excellent and well done in my view. Yeah. Let's see, the Tomorrow People with a different view. But I don't know the Tomorrow People. I'll have to check that out. So Chronicle, what did you think of it, Cam?
Well, okay, I have to come clean about this. I didn't like it for completely petty, selfish reasons. Um, some years before, namely about 1999, I wrote a story that was involving three people that discovered, they had superpowers. Um, and it was very uh, similar in theme, that it was they're just normal people, and they kind of stumble across each other and how they deal with it and what it does. Oddly enough, one of the characters in it was named Andy. He went bad, kind of, things went wrong in the story, and it was, for I don't want to say it was good or bad or anything. But in my mind, it was exploring these different perspectives on how power what it would do to different kinds of people.
Yeah.
And so, I just gritted my teeth through this because I'm like, it was okay. Again, I was obviously interested in that sort of idea of the normal super, which is again before you remember the TV show Heroes.
Yes.
Again, that mine was before that.
I watched
So
that.
it
I
was
watched that. Yeah.
And so it's just one, like I said, personal petty reasons. So I'm like, my thing is better than this, So I'm jaded, um, you know.
So you heard it here first, folks. They stole Cam's idea.
No, there are no new ideas. I mean, I
Um,
can't say that. I never,
Stay
revealed it to
tuned
anyone.
for updates on the lawsuit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I felt it was a good movie. I didn't know that they stole it from Cam before. Now I'm changing my mind. But okay. So why is this underrated? Now the budget was 15 million, but it made about 126 at the box office, so it did fairly well. But I just don't remember this movie. It kind of being a little bit under the radar and not. It's an
Yeah.
interesting concept. It's not something that is done every day. There's sort of the normal superhero stuff. And I think PB made a good point there. I'll put it up again here, where he says, it's very down to earth, playing football in the clouds wearing parkas. Yeah, I mean, this is something the kid might do. Well, let's not, instead of doing something, hey, let's have fun with our new little, right? So I like that aspect of it. The very sort of, the down to earth. I think it was kind of a style in that time around the 2012, around that time, was kind of like to make these movies that were a little, not as big, more down to earth. But anyway, yeah,
I did see it in the theater.
Yeah,
way back when.
I don't think I did. I didn't know about it. It just sort of came about. I was like, Chronicle, what's this? And I, read the back of it, like, all right, let's give this a try. Yeah.
It wasn't as interesting as I thought it could have been. I thought it was, in the end, like I said, I thought cool concepts. Again, literally the same as the concepts I had, but I think it didn't. It was rather flat in what they did with them. It was, they could have done more interesting things and didn't. But again, they just had a 2-hour movie too. So
yeah, that's true. All right.
What's next?
Man of Steel. Okay, we're I'm not sure what you mean. That's more of a down to earth superhero movie. I mean, I guess Man of Steel is a little bit more. Yeah. All right. John Carter, 2012 version. Cam, this is yours.
Yeah, I honestly, I'm debating on whether this is underrated or not. I mentioned this, when we were coming up with the our lists of things here, and Snob, of course, whenever I say something, he just assumes, yes, let's run with that, so I just have to not say things to him a lot of times.
What?
Yeah.
What is that? I don't need to be managed. What are you talking about?
Oh, was that a little too behind the scenes for
you managing me?
No, not at all. Anyway, John Carter, came out in the pre-Disney, pre-Star Wars Disney days, when they were obviously looking for some kinds of properties to explore. This is based on Edgar Rice Burroughs. I think it was 1912 that it came out, or that he wrote the first one. I think.
Yeah, we talked about that last last week. We were talking Burroughs. Or
Yeah,
the week
is
before.
with pulp.
Yeah.
Pulp stuff. And so I did rewatch this movie yesterday to refresh my memory. I thought I had seen it in the theater, but I was reminded that that is not true. So I saw it around the time it came out, though, on video or whatever cable. And I rewatched it, and it's like, wow, I don't remember any of this movie, at least the beginning of it. I do remember the middle, and I probably fell asleep during it. When I watched it originally, I did manage to stay awake this time. And again, I haven't read these novels, but from going through and reading about it a little bit, it is apparently a fairly accurate adaptation, which I like as a concept. And it's very much the pulp sci-fi, that doesn't, it's the opposite of hard sci-fi.
Yeah, adventure science fiction.
Right. And but it's pretty cool. I mean, I for the time, post, in the era of Star Wars, Star Trek, and more of the that kind of sci-fi, spaceships and all that. This was very much a throwback, and I do enjoy the pulp sci-fi, pre Golden Age sci-fi. So I kind of admire this movie. I don't know that it's great though. I could see why it wouldn't resound or land with a lot of resonate. I was trying to say with a lot of audiences of the 2012 era. But it's got different alien races on Mars, and and again I like this idea. It's like, yeah, you can go to Mars and breathe there and do these things. And there's a conspiracy, and the main bad guys, the Therns, are I learn they were in some of the later books, but they were kind of a minor thing. And in this one, they're positioned much more as like a mastermind kind of enemy, which I think worked for the movie. But in the end, it is kind of a simplistic story. It's like the fish out of water, guy from somewhere else, comes here, becomes the hero,
saves the princess.
Right.
But she kind of can save herself a bit. I mean, she's not.
Yeah, she's in the movie. She's like a scientist and a capable fighter as well.
Yeah.
Carter has essentially super strength, relative super strength, and he could like leap huge distances because the low gravity, and his musculature is made for Earth, not Mars. So it was a fun time. Is it overrated or underrated? I mean, yeah, I think it is underrated because it was a pretty well made movie that flopped. And Jason has talked about this movie quite a bit, and apparently there was a lot of machinations behind the scenes within Disney that kind of spiked it. Yeah, Cotton Candy. That's accurate. It is a popcorn flick, or cotton candy, if you want to call it that. It's it's an adventure movie. It's not deep. But again,
it's a pulp movie, so that's
right.
why PB's talking about simple tropes. You're right, and that's the kind of things that Flash Gordon, John Carter, Buck Rogers, save the princess, destroy the Earth. These very simple science fiction tropes from that pulp era, which are fairly typical. So.
Yeah, and again, it in some ways it's refreshing because of what else is happening at the time when it came out, or even now. I mean, compared to that, it's these things are a bit of a contrast. So, if you're in for something a little different, even though it's very old, it might be worth checking out. So from that perspective, I guess that's why I'd say it's underrated. Like I said, it's well made. It was well made. It could have continued. They could have gone on to other stories with it, and the end of the movie does certainly set that up. And the books were kind of that way too. There's something about that Carter's immortal, or regenerates in some way or something, which I guess isn't ever really fully explained, but it's basically like, yeah, it's a pulp story, and I want it that way. It's kind of, the answer.
Yeah. He and I think Burroughs wrote like 11 or 14 books,
Yeah, I went up into the 30s at least, I think.
something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I read it over when we were doing our other shows, but yeah. It made budget was 306 million gross, so fairly high amount.
Wow.
Made 284, so just a little bit close to a little bit less. I think part of the problem with pulp and with this John Carter in specifically is something we could talk about later. People tend to, like Burroughs is writing. People tend to write stories about what they know in the world at the time, right? So somebody takes a telescope and looks on Mars and sees these canals on Mars, right? So then science fiction writers go, hey, there could be people living there. There could be stuff, so we're going to write these movies. Hey, I'm going to say that, yeah, there are canals. People can live there. So you get a story like John Carter where they get to Mars. There's a whole ecosystem going on, all that sort of thing. But the problem is that now we know, and this some sort of thing happens with the moon. There's people living on the moon, right? These kind of stories. But then our science advances, and then you look back at these stories and you go, okay, well, this is impossible. We know that the Mars is just, it's nothing but a big dust bowl. We don't even know if there's any water there. The moon is not made of cheese. It's not they're full of holes, and aliens don't live on the dark side, all this kind of stuff, right? So the problem with writing your science fiction story only, a little bit in the future or so much in the future where, we might in 50 years find out the truth of what it is, then your story kind of looks a little bit,
okay. But imagine
unrealistic.
How incredibly boring the world of sci-fi would be if you're like, well, I got to wait to see if that's realistic.
No, I'm not saying you wait to see it, but the thing is that if you pick some other solar system, right? Like instead, John Carter goes to Alpha Centauri, and then it's going to be a lot longer before we find out what's really there. So your story has a little more, Now I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this can affect the story. People are like, oh, he goes to Mars, and some people are like, that's stupid. Mars is, you can't live on Mars. This is crazy. But if he had said it on Alpha Centauri, let's say, right, and we're not there, so we don't know, some planet, everyone would be like, oh, well, there could be a planet. Okay, I'm just mentioning this in general. It's kind of a side thing. Sometimes, your story. That's why some of the older stories by Burroughs and some of these pre-Golden Age stories don't come across as well, because we're like, oh, that could never happen, right? So it's part of we have to suspend our disbelief a little bit.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I actually have a fondness for that era of storytelling, and I don't know. Honestly, hard sci-fi in some ways, I like some of it, and I certainly don't mind it, but in other ways, it's boring and dry to me. Because it doesn't allow for fun things like this. But I guess that's where maybe that's just fantasy then. So
yeah. So PB's kind of saying the same thing that I was just saying. Once we know a little bit more, then it gets a little, and it might affect how well it does, which is sometimes it's worth it to set your science fiction adventure a million years in the future, or in a galaxy far, far away that is very long, long ago, so that no one we're not going to find out that that can never happen. So 11 books in the John Carter series. All right. Okay, that's all right. So I was half right, almost right. That's good. Yeah. So I agree with you with the movie. It was just, and I think this is a general, it was an okay movie. It wasn't I think if you do a pulp sci-fi, you got to go whole hog and go all the way. And I'm not sure what it is with this movie that didn't, it's all there, don't you think? The pulp stuff is there. He gets there. The girls are wearing sexy clothes. There's weird stuff.
Well,
aliens with different arms, but what is it that it's missing, right? Like it's got I'm not sure what it is.
I in rewatching it, I was with that in mind, and I was watching the beginning, I'm like, this is going on forever. It's like the preamble to this, the real adventure starting was not effective, in terms of audiences of the the media era.
Short
So
attention spans.
yeah, they could have cut a lot from that beginning, and it probably would have been better. But on the other hand, again, this movie was spiked for behind the scenes reasons, apparently. So maybe nothing would have really mattered in terms of that.
Yeah. All right.
I
would be interested to see a pulp style, remake of something like a Flash Gordon, like a Buck Rogers, like a John Carter done. Hey, we're gonna embrace the style whole hog. We're gonna do it. We're gonna pull out the tropes. We're gonna do a good job at it. I'm not sure how you would do that or anything, but I would be curious to see if people could do it and what they would do with it. All right. Event Horizon. Did you see this one?
No.
You didn't see this one. Okay, this is a little bit. This is one of mine, but sorry. Let me just go back a little bit. Yeah, Michael, Sky Captain, World of Tomorrow, Rocketeer. Those are those kind of style ones as well.
Yeah, I thought about Sky Captain, and I just didn't mention it because
I don't even know that was very good, but
those
would fit the pulp, and so would Rocketeer fit the pulp.
Yeah, I love that. I love that style.
Rocketeer is like 1988 or in the 80s. It was the first character. We talked about that. 82 or something. The character first came out, but pulp character in the thing. So, Event Horizon. It's really a science fiction horror. It follows the crew of astronauts on a rescue mission after a missing spaceship. The Event Horizon disappears in orbit around Neptune. They discovered that there's some sinister force that is come back with the spaceship somehow. So you've never seen this one?
I don't think so.
With Lawrence Fishburne. I thought what's her name was on this one. I guess I made a mistake. So they come onto the ship. There's signs of a massacre. They search for survivors. The ship's drive activates and pulls just into some portal. It's very much a horror movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
what?
Well, no, go ahead.
No. I was going to say, Event Horizon is a sci-fi version of Hellraiser. Prove me wrong. I'm not sure that I can. Sam Neill is in it. Yeah. Sam Neill. Is he? Yeah, Sam Neill is one of the Dr. Lawrence Fishburne. I thought what's her name was in this. The chick from blonde-haired girl was in everything, but I was wrong about that. It's very disturbing. Science fiction horror is not my thing. Yeah, it's not my thing either, but I do appreciate when it's done well, like Aliens, The Thing. Yeah. So, it's this thing that they've brought back on the ship it's basically messing with the crew. It's, giving them hallucinations, all kinds of stuff.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Are you? What's going on?
I'm quickly reading, trying to remember what happens on the damn show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see it, unfortunately. So
you're no help.
No, it looks like a conventional astronaut kind of thing, though. Eh?
Yeah, they get on the ship and they, it's a horror.
Snob hasn't done his homework.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what.
Just apologize and move on.
Yeah, all right. Okay, let's move on. No, yeah, it goes to a different dimension here, and comes back alive. Yeah, and I'm not sure that the ship is alive or they bring this back, which you can see the picture. You can see this portal black thing that comes out. Um, yeah, and it messes with the crew. So more of a horror movie, which isn't really my thing as well. Budget was 60 million, and they only made 42. So it was kind of surprising considering the big names like Fishburne, Sam Neill, pretty big, some pretty big names in the movie. Um, yeah. So I think it's that's the reason. If you like sci-fi horror, this is probably a good, a good example of it, along with like Alien, The Thing, that kind of thing. Underrated because it made a little bit less money. Didn't make its budget back, considering the big names with it. Well, I'm not recommending the movie so much as saying I think it's underrated. The ship is alive or brought something back. Yeah. The drive becomes a doorway to a dimension to travel through. Yeah. I thought it was. I didn't think the ship was alive, but I thought it brought. I mean, it brings this thing back, which does something. But anyway,
in space, you can never be too safe.
That's right. 6 or 1/2 dozen of the other. Yeah. All right. Getting a little long. Okay, let's try to push it a little forward. All right. This is one of Cam's Transformers, the movie. I have not seen this one.
Okay.
Oh, it didn't become. Oh, sorry. It didn't bring anything back. The ship itself becomes alive, but the thing in the center of the ship that wasn't there before, or is that the drive? Okay. All right. Okay, go ahead, Cam.
Okay, Transformers, the movie, based, directly within the run of the animated television series. So this is 1986. So I did see this in the theater, and it's popular amongst Transformers fans, but it's also disliked in a lot of ways because it it killed off spoilers. It killed off Optimus Prime and many other Autobots, and basically, went full sequel. It's like, yeah, we're basically moving on from what you knew and resetting this. Now, again, if you know anything about Transformers, you'll know that it basically exists as a media entity to support selling toys, as many things in the 80s did, G.I. Joe, He-Man, so on and so forth. So and so everybody's like, well, yeah, they had to kill them all off because they wanted to make new toys. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure that's true. But if you look at it from the perspective of a story and a movie standing on its own, coming from the TV show, this movie went all out. It like I said, it killed off main characters. And the brutality in this movie, this is coming from the afternoon cartoon world where, like in G.I. Joe, everyone has a parachute and they shoot lasers where no one dies and everything. And this movie, they were murdering. Just Megatron just slaughters the Autobots that we've seen from the show, one after another. And there's a certain scene where he's just killing everybody off. And then they have this, very famous fight scene with Megatron facing off with Optimus Prime, in which Optimus is mortally wounded. I mean, they absolutely tear each other apart, but, Optimus is wounded and dies, which traumatized many young children, apparently, seeing this. Yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah. So PB saying, they hate it, and people hated it for that reason, and I totally understand that. So but again, from the perspective of a movie, it adds a ton of lore. It adds new characters. It moves things along, and it it wasn't afraid to do that. And I guess if you reduce it to, well, they wanted to sell more toys, you say, well, okay, it's just a cynical move on their part and whatever. But in my mind, it stands up as a story that really expands the Transformers universe in a good way. Um, Even though I admit that I'm on the side where it's like, do I like Rodimus Prime? No, I really don't. I like Optimus Prime. I'm a G1 fan. I didn't like what they did, and I like that they eventually, went back to the G1 stuff. And today, I think G1 or other versions of G1 is really what remains popular. So, was it a good idea? Probably not in the end, but it uh I think it really did a good job. It was a well-made movie, regardless of whether you liked the choices. And again, the fact that Optimus Prime's death had such a big impact, I think can't be dismissed in terms of storytelling. So I I mean I don't think it was particularly successful at the box office. Let's see.
I can answer that question.
Okay.
The budget was $6 million. It made 5.9.
Okay. So not, I guess, but again, if it was just an advertisement to sell toys, they probably did well. I think the toy line did continue after this fairly strong for some amount of years. But like I said, it introduced all kinds of new characters. This was where RC, the female Transformer, first came into play.
What, chicks?
Yeah. Which again is stupid if you think about the fact that they're robots and everything, but so what? It was kind of cool. The new characters were cool in a lot of ways, even though they're not the originals. And I certainly understand that. But it looked great. They had this very 80s rock soundtrack thing. They had mainstream actors. I mean, this was Orson Welles' final movie, reportedly. Orson Welles played Unicron. Leonard Nimoy was a voice in the movie. Judd, wait a minute, I'm sorry. I'm forgetting his name.
No, you're right, Judd Nelson.
Yeah, Judd Nelson, right. Who was from the Breakfast Club. Was Hot Rod / Rodimus Prime. Weird Al Yankovic did one of the songs, I guess, and but it also had like Eric Idle, Robert Stack. It's like these fairly respectable actors that wouldn't necessarily have been on a children's cartoon came in now, and they didn't get rid of the cartoon, like Frank Welker and Peter Cullen, Optimus and Megatron. They were still in it until they died, and then they had these other actors. But I saw the preview for it, and it was just advertising these new people for the movie. It's like Judd Nelson, Leonard Nimoy, and Robert Orson Welles. It's like, yeah, forget those schlubs from the kids show. They're not important. So it was really weird, and in the sense of how it's like, how does a movie like that even get made from this children's cartoon that kind of wants to step into the the feature film era. That was not normal back then. So I think this movie's great in itself, even though I might not love the particular choices. But as a standalone, it really is great, and anyone who remotely likes Transformers, I would highly recommend it too.
Yeah.
All right. What do you know about it? Nothing.
I didn't see it. Well, first let me thank the chat for saving me for Event Horizon coming in to save me. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I have not seen this movie. This is one of the ones I haven't seen. I mean, everything you mentioned seems to make sense. Like
far better than the Michael Bay ones.
Yeah. Well, uh, you know, I like the Michael Bay. I like the way the Transformers are done in that style. I mean, I think I prefer the comics, to be honest. But if you had to do live action, the cartoon, I prefer the cartoons. But if I had to do live action, that's how you would do it. But the storyline in those movies are just so, you know, so pedestrian and
Well,
poorly done and so basic. And
okay.
I'm not a big fan of what's his name in those movies. Who plays Sam Witwicky? What's his name there? That idiot.
Oh, um, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's done better since those movies, and he's become a better actor. He was good in Fury, for example, but anyway.
Well, this movie was also very anime style. You could see like remember
really?
when we were talking about anime stuff, and it's like I kept on kind of nebulously talking about this, this sci-fi style of the 80s, 80s anime, and this movie has it for sure. These sweeping, views of these giant machines, and of course the transformation scenes and all that. It was right in that wheelhouse. So I have a soft spot for that stuff.
The Sailor Moon transformation scene type
No,
stuff.
not that kind of transformation. Mechanical stuff.
Oh,
I don't know anything about Sailor Moon, I'm afraid.
no, I'm talking about when they transform. There'll be a cut, and the person will jump up in the air, and they'll be turning around.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Right.
But no, that's not this. This is different. Like this is like Robotech. Where you again. A common thing in all of the they're showing the machinery and huge heavy pistons and things. Hey, there's DP. All right, yeah, with Shia LaBeouf. That's right.
Yeah, that's him. Thanks.
You missed a tool segment, my friend. But okay, so there you go. The Transformers. I know we're trying to move things along here. So I think it is underrated in the fact that it does have this kind of bad feeling about it. I guess that's where it comes from, and the fact that it wasn't, particularly commercially successful. Also, reportedly, the bad feelings about this spiked the G.I. Joe movie and caused it to not be released in theaters.
Really?
Yeah, and
were they going to kill off all the GI?
They were going to kill
GI
off
Joes as well.
They were going to kill off Duke, who was basically basically the main character from the cartoon, and similar kind of thing. Don Johnson came in as Lieutenant Falcon in that movie to replace Duke, essentially. Again, big name actor at the time.
I think you could kill off Duke, but it would have to be a big deal, and it would have to unite the Joes to destroy the et cetera, et cetera.
Well, yeah, and I mean it was a big deal in Transformers killing off Optimus too.
Yeah, I mean it was. I just can't see. I mean,
and
there's other leaders that could take Duke's place. I mean,
well, Duke's not even the real leader of the G.I. Joe team.
That's true. Exactly. He's just the one that. Yeah, he's just he's like a.
Yeah, again, you could say
Optimus Prime. I mean, you can't kill him off. Come on.
Well, yeah, right. As it turns out, that was proven from this, and again, it is a cynical thing to sell toys, but they didn't just go, "Oh, Optimus is dead. Here's a new guy."
Yeah.
It was they gave him a heroic death. It was great.
But they killed off a bunch of other main characters too.
That's true. Some very much less ceremoniously. Prowl being one of my favorites. He just got wasted without without care.
All right. Michael, send us a super chat for $5. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate that. Rick and Morty, Rise of the Numericons, the movie was better. Ice-T's performance was awe-inspiring and awesome. Big Rick and Morty fan. I don't know that Cam is.
No,
big Rick and Morty fan myself. Because of what one of these days I'll have to talk about Rick and Morty. Rise of the Numericons, the movie. They do some good shit on that show, and that was a good movie. A good episode. It was just an episode, but it was pretty funny. Great. Yeah, thanks a lot. We appreciate that, Michael. Appreciate the $5 super chat. Awesome. I wanted to go back a little bit and mention about how Umbras was talking about. I'm going to put this up real quick. Underrated sci-fi movies, Predestination with Ethan Hawke and Gattaca. We talked about Gattaca. I almost included, but I think it did pretty well in the theaters, which why I didn't include it. I don't know. I have to double check. I did suggest that one to Cam. Predestination was one on my list, but I haven't seen it, so I didn't want to talk about it. But I put it recently on my list of movies to watch for to get myself back up there. All right, let's Transformers: The War for Cyber on Netflix is very, very good. That's a film should be. Love the really. All right, that's a good one. All right, Venture Brothers. I think that's a little more. I've seen some of the episodes. I haven't really watched it. That's more. Isn't that a little more satirical? I think.
Oh yeah, sure is.
Yeah. The film led to Transformers Season 3, which wasn't very good.
Yeah, that's true. The follow-up to it was weak.
I can't believe you kill off Optimus Prime. I mean, he's so heroic and like he's the lead, like he's the glue that holds these
guys
together.
They learned their lesson though. They
crazy. Crazy. All right, I think we covered. Yeah. All right, let's move on. We're trying to go a little faster here. We got a couple more to do. All right, Tenet. This is mine. Tenet. So it's much more recent, 2020 sci-fi action thriller, kind of a spy secret agent conspiracy type movie, which is a little bit, you see some of that in science fiction, but not very often. I like this movie because Cam, you disagree with me? You don't think that this movie is underrated?
No, I haven't seen this movie, but I remember people falling all over themselves about this.
Yeah, people thought it was great. Christopher Nolan is the director. I think it's a little bit underrated because I don't think it gets as much kudos as it did. I mean, 205 million budget, 365 million at the box office, so it did make money, but I think it is actually better than it does at the box office. It is it's time travel, but done in a very, very limited way so that you can make a good story about it. This whole you can go backwards in time. It's quite an interesting concept, and the character work is I think it's good. John David Washington, he's the main. Robert Pattinson is as his sort of second. I think he does a good job in this movie. The conspiracy is interesting, and the time travel is difficult to do, and it sort of fits together. And there's some great shots with everything going backwards, and then you got to see this where they go through everything on one, on the front ways, and then they go backwards through it, and the main character is going backwards through it and doing everything in the way they're fitting it together. I think it's very well done, and I think it should have got more because of that, what it attempts to do. Let me see here. Weatherman says it falls apart at the end. I didn't feel so. It ends with Patterson dying, but he's not dead because our main guy is going backwards and forwards, and the movie starts out with the main character not everyone else knows him, but he doesn't know them because he's living backwards, so to speak. PB likes it. It's a masterpiece, Nolan's best work, best non-linear storytelling film. It is does that great non-linear storytelling. Very few films do that, and this one, I thought it was well done. It was Green Girl. Hey, good to see you. Not quite sure I understand it. I watched it once, and I'm like, I read people are, I'm seeing it. I'm like, wow, this is pretty interesting. And people would say, hey, you got to watch it twice at least twice, because then when you watch it the second time, you know what's going to happen so that things sort of fit together a little bit more. So I watched it twice, and it does come out a little bit. All right, that's what's going on. But there is still pretty, it is still pretty head scratching. The final scene, which you're kind of seeing a little bit of this in the main picture here, where they're going in to, to capture the last piece of this device, or the whole device. I can't remember which. And they're going in forward and backward. There's two teams going in forward and backward. And, the guys are running in to do their thing. And meanwhile, they see the other guys coming back with carrying their dead, and then vice versa. It gets over a lot of people's head. It is a head scratcher. It's I think that's why I think it's underrated, because it's not a trope. It's time travel, but it's, like I said, done in a very interesting way. The scene with the I think it's the whole scene where they're going through in the machine and they're coming out when they go backwards. That's pretty well done. Weatherman, you just like the ending. I mean, I'm not sure how you'd expect it to end. Basically, he's, the main character has figured out what's going on. They kind of save the world, and now he's got to go backwards in time and sort of make sure that everything happens so that, he sets everything up so that it works properly. I don't really see it could have ended any other way, really. You still got to go back and make sure he does all these things in order to make sure that everything ends up the way it is. He's got to go recruit Robert Pattinson in the past. He's got a lot of work to do. Interesting. All right, Cam, did you want to make any?
I didn't see it. Can't really say a word
comment.
about it.
No comment at all. You should see it. Like I said, a little bit different because it's spies, CIA, that kind of stuff.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm not a Nolan fan generally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his Batman stuff really turned me off because it absolutely sucked.
Really?
Yeah. Talk about, if we want to talk overrated, we could talk about the Batman movies that he did.
Really?
I mean, I've seen some other movies that I've liked of his though too. So but I don't seek him out. Is what I'm saying.
I think because of the way that they do time travel in this movie, I think this is kind of a must-see sci-fi film, just to be, because it is so different but yet grounded. But it is a bit of a head scratcher. Yeah, I would check it out. All right. The ending isn't simple. No easy, simple wrap up. It's a story. The story of the film from the non-linear perspective of the story. Yeah, I mean the whole. Yeah, it's interesting how it fits together and how they've done a job of fitting it together. I don't think I've seen a movie that is this ambitious about fitting this together in this way. Like, I can't think of anything.
Let me ask you a question. It sounds from what you've described. Again, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. Is the form of the storytelling? Did it become the focus of the story or of the movie over the story?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's still the story. It's there's the story is there's this guy from the future. They're looking for pieces of this device, 12 pieces, and they've got a bunch of the pieces already, and he's trying to get the last piece. But the problem is that everyone he meets, they know him already, and he doesn't know them. And he's talking to them, and they're kind of looking at him, because after this is over, he's going to start going back in time in order to, to set things up. Like he realizes at the end, and like they're talking to him, and they know kind of what's going on. They know him, and he's kind of figuring out with the audience as we're going along. But by the end of the movie, he realizes that, oh, I got to go back, and these people aren't going to know me, and I got to know them, and I've got to, set things up. I got to recruit this guy because they make comments. He's like, "Do you know me?" Like he's like, "Do you know me?" And they're like, "Yeah, I kind of do," but we never met. Well, not yet. The way that the time travel works is that you go through this thing, and then you start living backwards. So you want to go back in time 4 days. You've got to go through the machine. You got to live backwards for 4 days, and then you can go forward again, and start interacting and doing whatever.
So
I mean, you can interact when you're going backwards too, but
it doesn't sound like the same thing, but it strikes a few. Makes me think of Memento, right? That, I mean, it wasn't the same. There was no time travel in it, obviously, but the way we saw the story in reverse, essentially, it seems to be something. Maybe it's an idea he likes playing around with.
And it's not. I mean, and it's time travel. I mean, it's time travel in the sense that you go and you can live backwards, and then you can get to a spot, and then you can start going forward again, and do. So you can time travel that way, but it's not really, time travel that we're used to. Where just I'll step in this thing and I just go to wherever I want. So there's some, it's some very interesting concepts where they're like, all right, they're doing a briefing. They're briefing everybody. All right, you guys are going in backwards and you guys are going in forwards. It's, from both. Maybe PB, he's explaining it better. The story moves along and resolves itself. Yeah. I don't think, it's a story, and it's just a story presented in an unusual way where.
Do you mean that Memento didn't resolve itself?
No, I don't. I think, I think he's talking about Tenet. He's, replying to your fact that you're saying, does the story take, or does
I see.
Does that, does the story take a backseat to what's going on? I don't think so.
I see.
To this, this time travel thing. No, it's integral to the story. I don't think it takes the place of the story. Not at all. You gotta, Cam. You gotta see this. Go to the library and borrow it, and then we'll talk. We should talk about it because I think I'd be curious to. You haven't seen it. I'd be curious. To
put it on the list.
You say about it. Yeah. All right. Tenet. Next, Edge of Tomorrow. This one's kind of yours.
Yeah, I'll try to make it quick. It's an adaptation of a manga, I guess, from kind of a juvenile manga. Very briefly, it's Earth has been invaded by some aliens. The consolidated Earth forces are having trouble fighting them off. They've basically taken over much of Europe. In the movie, Tom Cruise plays like a PR guy. He's in the military, but he's like a PR guy. Gets kind of wrapped up in this thing where he gets, crossed with some, superiors, and ends up being, put into an infantry unit essentially, where he dies. But then because of some interaction with aliens and blood and all this stuff, he just keeps repeating. Every time he dies, he just goes back and is in this time loop.
Because that's how the aliens operate. They win they just reset the day every time they lose, and then they just go on from there, right?
Yeah, and then he comes across Emily Blunt's character, who is the hero, which I think she's like an angel of Verdun or whatever, and so she's like she's like a sergeant or something, but she's like a poster girl for for victory kind of thing, and so basically he runs into her. As it turns out, she also was doing a loop at one point, but isn't anymore.
Yeah. That's how she became the hero of Verdun.
Right. And because it's, basically the infection of the alien blood into her was removed or lost or anything. Anyway, so it just keeps going through this whole thing. So it's a kind of a cool portrayal of this, the basic time loop kind of thing. It's well done. It's a ton of action. It's not a terribly deep movie by any means, but you see this and how he's developing these skills. Because he's retaining knowledge and things for each day. Obviously, he's aware that he's going through these loops. And she's not, so he has to basically keep on, making his days more and more efficient to be able to proceed, farther and farther along. Um, and so he eventually works with her, and they resolve the whole thing. But it's kind of a fun action adventure. I guess it was actually fairly successful at the box office relative to its budget.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Tom Cruise kind of became, I don't want to say box office poison, but it's like, it seems like there was this, it's like, oh, Tom Cruise, it's like, and not interested in a lot of ways, or at least it doesn't, it doesn't get the buzz like he used. I mean, obviously he's a huge star and everything, but I don't know. There's something about him that just doesn't bring in an audience like it used to, or it maybe doesn't bring in the buzz like it used to. So to me, it seems underrated. Again, you don't hear anybody talking about this. But it was, fun sci-fi action movie kind of thing that I think is worth watching, because it does have this, the time loop stuff is pretty cool. It's classic sci-fi.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not even like, I wouldn't even consider this time loop like a trope. It's kind of I mean, it's not something that's been done in the movies before that I remember. Yeah, Cruise wants to make a sequel. Yeah, there's been talk about a sequel for a while, but nothing heard about it. I mean, it's a good movie. I'm not sure what you'd do for a sequel, but I mean, if it's as good, it would be as good, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure why it didn't. I mean, it did. It says 178 million budget, 370 at the box office. So double its budget, which is pretty good. But kind of expected it to do even better than that. To be honest, it's a good concept. Great actors. The sets are all like you get. They didn't skimp on the sets. Good CGI, the whole 9 yards. It all fits together. Explosions, action.
Yeah. One just quick note. Umber said
Oblivion better. Wow, I'm surprised.
Oblivion. Okay, I think I saw that one.
I was something I was gonna. We could almost do Tom Cruise sci-fi movies. I'm surprised. I thought. I guess Oblivion's got some good. I was thinking about it when we were doing this as well. Oblivion's got some different ideas as well, but Oblivion is more underrated. Maybe.
Umbrus, when I said it was juvenile, I meant it was like for young readers in the manga, not that it was juvenile as a pejorative sense.
Yeah, I did not know this was based on a manga. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I haven't read it.
Interesting.
Anyway,
yeah, a good movie though.
Yeah, worth watching.
I think it is a little bit under. I mean, it's a little bit underrated. I think it's better than it did, but I think this is better than Oblivion, which is somewhat different. But I mean,
Oblivion, that was the one where they were basically the survivors on Earth and flying around, and
no, him and the girl are cloned, and they are told something about Earth, but in reality, they're tools of the aliens.
Yeah, I think we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah,
I'll look it up. Okay, anyway, yeah, we can move on.
I don't see a sequel story resolved. Yeah. Yeah. Like Independence Day was kind of lame. I mean, they did it. You can always do it. Oh, well, they're attacking again. I mean, in the sense that, they've already, Edge of Tomorrow is the second story of, it's Rita Vertasky's story again with a different person. So it's kind of, part two. So you could do that. Oh, the war is still going, but the war ended. The only thing about this movie is I did not like the. I thought they could have come up with a better title. Edge of Tomorrow. It doesn't really get the right feeling. I think from the storyline. PB liked Oblivion better. Really, I mean, I like this one better. Though I respect Oblivion, but yeah, there's some good aspects of it. We could have put Oblivion instead. Okay, last one, which was also this is also yours, Cam. Alita Battle Angel.
Yeah, we're getting long. So I'll briefly again another manga based movie. Uh, 2019. Now how time flies. Which I actually have some of the manga from way back when, um, and I honestly don't remember that much about it. But essentially, this is a kind of a post-apocalyptic world. It is on Earth. Earth is kind of like a crap hole, and everyone living there is living off of scraps and but there's a lot of cyborgs and things. So um, Alita, so they basically human brains in cyborg bodies, and so Alita is the main character who's found and put into this robot body by the doctor, Dr. Ito, who I guess he had the body was built for his daughter who is now um, deceased, but so she goes along and meets up with these other people and everything. As it turns out, she's actually part of this elite fighting force kind of thing, and then she
Her
eventually,
body and stuff. Yeah.
well, she gets a new body which is like super powered essentially, and then so she's like a complete badass kind of thing. And then there's this whole thing with like um what do they call it, the motorball, which is a lot like rollerball, uh you know um uh roller derby kind of thing, where they've got all this crazy uh sci-fi, these cyborgs fighting each other and doing all this crazy stuff. And
Right.
so it's it's again it's maybe not the deepest story around, at least not what's portrayed in the movie, but it's cool action adventure. It looked really neat. Was a really fun movie that I don't I don't know, how did this one do well at the box office? Oh, it did okay.
No, it did pretty well. 150 to 200 million to make it 400 million the box office. I mean, screenplay by Cameron, produced by Cameron. I thought,
And Robert Rodriguez directing.
I thought Spielberg had something to do with this too.
He might
Exec EP or something like that. It's
Yeah.
part of. I don't see his name, but I thought he had
or maybe it
something
was.
to do as well.
Well, in any case, and it had some buzz like early on, but I don't know. I remember I didn't get into any of the arguments or everything, but it was one of these. Again, 2019 was deep idiot territory, so maybe it was one of these things where people were like, "Oh, this is, problematic for whatever reason."
Some of these animes don't seem to translate as well from the anime style. It's got a bit of an anime style, but Americans just don't enjoy it as much for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure why.
Yeah, it's a bit of a challenge. It's a kind of a hump to get over, I think, in many ways.
Yeah.
But again, just as a standalone, if you didn't know anything about any, Battle Angel Alita, which is the manga, I don't know, it's pretty enjoyable. It is post-apocalyptic and a little dark from that perspective, but not super dark. It's like there is still functioning society and such, and it's not just misery.
Yeah. I mean, they live in the underside, and everyone's trying to get up, get rich to get to the upper part of the floating city, which is,
right
where all the rich people live.
Right.
And no one knows anything about what's going on. Who knows what's going on up there, supposedly.
Yeah. And there's this whole, there's an underworld and the crime, bosses and all that stuff. But I don't know. It was cool. I just really enjoyed it. And again, you don't hear much about it, 6 years on here. So
Yeah.
I would say it's certainly underrated.
It was set for a sequel and at least a sequel. It's all set up for that.
Well, I guess you have to ask the question too, right? If it is a box office success, which apparently it was, and people kind of like it, but it doesn't have a sequel, well, why not then?
I think it's not enough of a box office success. I think that's the problem. It only made twice its budget. I mean, it is completely set up for a sequel, right? She only finishes the first part.
Right.
She survives, but she still didn't get up there. We still don't know anything about the city above, what's going on, what the deal is. I think it's very much ripe for a sequel, but they didn't do it for whatever reason.
It does have very much.
Weatherman,
sorry,
you're fairly knowledgeable about the sequel or Battle Angel. All right. Yeah. Unrealistic look. Yeah, I mean, they do the big. I mean, it's the anime. She's got the giant anime eyes. It looks a little bit different. Okay, so Spielberg got the rights and then turned to the camera to finish the project. Yeah, I knew that Spielberg was involved somehow. I think his name's on the thing. My kids liked it. They thought it was
you would think with the popularity of manga and anime stuff that they would want to pursue something like this. Again, it wasn't a flop. It wasn't like, they lost a ton of money or something.
Yeah, and my older daughter is really into manga. She, likes manga more than any of the other, our superhero stuff or any of that. So, it's not surprising that she liked it. And she kind of represents that sort of, her age group. They're all into this. They're a little bit, some of them are more into manga, and they're like, oh yeah, these things are cool. So I thought it would do better than it did, and it would be an easy, sequel. It's all set up for it. But it hasn't, it's been 6 years and we haven't seen anything. So they're sitting on it. I don't think they don't think it's going to do well enough yet, I guess. I don't know.
All right.
Seemed to be a no-brainer though. Okay. All right. Cameron wanted to do Avatar. Alita has a huge following. Saw the anime was done 10 years ago. More enjoyed both. Avatar makes a ton more money. The first Avatar was okay. The other sequels, I don't even have. I think I've seen the second one, but I'm pretty sure I fell asleep watching it. I don't. I'm done with Avatar. Spielberg requested his name as a producer. Oh, all right. There you go. All right. He was involved though. Yeah, I mean, I think Alita, you could make a sequel. I don't know. I'm surprised they don't do it. I guess they just didn't make quite enough money. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows why Hollywood does what they do? All right. Okay, we're hitting on the 2-hour mark. I thought this would be a little bit faster, this episode, but a little bit long. All right, but that's okay. Hopefully, everybody enjoyed the show. Cam, do we have any? What do we have to tell people?
Well, next Wednesday we have at 11 p.m. Eastern, we have episode 21 of season 2 of Babylon 5.
Getting down to the short strokes.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good stuff going on there. I think Yes, I think I watched this one. Did I?
Comes the Inquisitor.
Comes the Inquisitor. Oh yes. Did I see the whole part of it? Yes, an Inquisitor comes to talk to Delin and make sure. Yes, I have seen it. I watched it a couple days ago. Comes to make sure that Delin is right, is in the good place to do this, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
She's got to be checked out and made sure that she's good to go.
Yep, aired almost exactly 30 years ago.
Yeah. Did you like this episode?
I haven't rewatched it. I don't recall it being one that blew me away, though.
Yeah, I watched it already. I got to watch it again to take notes, but I liked the episode we just saw better, much more impactful. But that's not to say this isn't good, but it's kind of, I'm going to say it's a placeholder, but it doesn't really push the story along that much, as far as I could tell. But anyway, we're going to do that. So what else? Oh, movie night is coming up again soon. I have it. Let me just double check here. I've got it tentatively for November 21st is the next movie night. What movie we're going to watch, Cam, on movie night? Do you know?
Is it Planet of the Apes?
Well, we don't know yet. We have to. It's between Planet of the Apes and Damnation Alley, and I would like to see Damnation Alley personally myself. But I think that Planet of the Apes, the vote for Planet of the Apes is Runaway. Oh, well. Yeah, so far it's got all the votes have been for the Planet of the Apes. So go to the Discord, vote for whatever you want. I mean, we'll watch whatever movie. I like Planet of the Apes too. I won't be too disappointed. But vote for which movie you want, and that's the one we will watch.
Mhm.
For the 21st, I tentatively scheduled. Things could push that 21st. Have I got the wrong date? I think that should be the 23rd. What did I say? Oh, I got this wrong. It should be the 23rd, not the 21st. Sorry, that's a Friday. It should be on a Sunday, so it should be the 23rd. Tentatively, sometimes we have to move the dates around if we get something, we have to do beforehand sometimes. But tentatively, that's the date for the next movie night, a month later. So, go and vote and pick the movie that you want. All right. And next week, we don't know what we're doing again next week. But I made a suggestion to Cam. Cam is, are we going to go with that suggestion? Maybe not.
I completely forgot what you even said.
I thought before.
Or maybe ignored is a better word. I don't know.
Ignore. Yeah.
What is it?
We'll talk about it after.
Oh, okay.
I talked to you before the show. I said,
that idea.
AI,
Okay.
AI. Maybe we need.
I didn't know that was going to come up so soon.
Maybe we need a little more time to develop that. But
yeah, definitely.
Tomorrow on Q2's show, he's got 8 p.m. He's talking about Madman Cafe. What are we talking about on that show? I think you're talking about. It's not really science fiction, but Q2 is one of our fans here. You're talking about stuff going on. You live in New York City. You go stuff going on in New York City. The vote. There's some sort of election, right? First Tuesday of the month in November, right? It's election night in America. So you're going to get a new mayor, and what else are you going to be talking about? You mentioned it to me. You said I think this is correct. Something about Warner Brothers and maybe the election. New York City. What's going on? All right. So, check out Q2's channel there. Election and Warner Brothers sale. All right. Here we go. Oh, you should. All right. Let me just. I'm gonna copy this. I'll put it in the chat for you. This is the copy to that show for Madman right here. That's the link to that show that he sent to me. All right.
Death Angel Shadow mentions he had some streams on the Sci-Fi for Me channel this weekend. Or what was it Thursday and Saturday? If you got the links,
Friday
pop them in.
Yeah, pop the links in. That would be good. You did 2 shows. One was on the one on Saturday was on small cons, right? And the one before that was, I think, was Friday or Thursday. It was about was it RPGs, Cam?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
TTRPGs, tabletop RPGs, not the computer ones. Yeah. So that's good. Yeah, interesting. You want to check those out. Yeah. Seems like Thursday and Saturday. All right. I was close. Jeff has been taking over for Jason. He's trying to take over his channel. Watch out, Jason. Look out. I think that's all we have coming up. Just a reminder, as you're leaving, like the show. It helps us with the algorithm. And again, thanks, Michael, for the super chat. We appreciate that. Everybody's picking on America. New York City. The Communist Party is selecting their candidate. I think that's a reference to New York City. Somebody doesn't like New York.
Nothing anyone could say about New York is even remotely in the area of the harm they're doing themselves as a whole.
Madman lives there. Come on.
I'm not saying everyone there. There's almost 50% of the people are going to be victims of this nonsense.
Yeah, there's con jobs. That's about the con. That's a great name, by the way. About the small cons. I think that's a interesting idea. Yeah, small cons. We should do that more. Okay. So that's it for the show. I don't think I've forgotten anything, Cam. Did I?
Definitely not.
Forget anything. We're gonna do, and we will do more shows in the future. We'll talk more. This is the kind of thing we're gonna, not movie night, but this is the kind of thing I want to do for these shows. Just relaxed discussion of movies or books, shows, whatever. Yeah, this is the kind of thing. So expect more in this vein, and we'll see if we can get Cam to do more tool time because I know that the audience loves that stuff. Yeah, we'll have to work on that. I'm safe. Michael says he's safe. He lives in Chicago. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, Chicago. Not so safe, I don't think. Yeah, I'm safe in my dugout though. All right. Okay, so that's it for the show. But I'm pretty sure I did forget something. Cam. I think I almost forgot the jokes. We almost forgot that, right? We got to do jokes.
I think there's a special segment that Jeff could come in to do jokes every week at the end.
Potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially. Yeah. All right. Yeah. After show tonight. After the show, I'll jump in the chat. Sorry, in the Discord in the after show thing. If anybody wants to talk, hang out there for a little bit. Yeah. If you want to come in, you can. No problem. All right. We will do that. All right, Cam. Let me ask you. And it's pretty hard getting these. You go looking for science fiction type jokes and you get a bunch of Star Wars and Star Trek stuff. But here we go. How many Star Wars fans does it take to change a light bulb?
I don't know how many Star Wars fans does it take to change a light bulb.
None. They prefer to keep it dark side. Get it? Because the dark side, the evil.
Adorable.
Side, of course. Can we get some girls in here? Well, Green Girl was here earlier. I think she's hiding in the chat. She doesn't. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, that one's the best one. I'm going to save that one to the end. Okay. Why did the alien fail its Earth history test?
I don't know. Why did the alien fail its Earth history test?
It didn't plan it ahead. Didn't plan it ahead. Get it? Planet. For the love of all things holy, give us more jokes, says PB. So that's good. He likes the jokes. All right, last one. This might be the best one. We'll see if Cam likes this one. Remember, if he doesn't laugh, I win. What's the one thing you need to throw a party on the moon?
I don't know. What's the one thing you need to throw a party on the moon?
The one thing, the most important thing. You got to have some atmosphere.
All right.
Atmosphere.
Okay.
There's no atmosphere on the moon.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
All right. Okay. I thought you might like that one best. Didn't laugh though, so I win. That's it for the show, everyone. We hope you enjoyed the jokes or not. We hope you at least enjoyed the show. Make sure like, subscribe on the way out. Give us a little bit of a thumbs up, and that will help us with the algorithm. Tell your friends, bring them over. Yeah. And we shall see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night, everyone.